What's going on, everybody? This is Emeka here from my self-publishing blueprint. And today's video, I'm actually interviewing one of our students. And Manny here, who you'll meet in a second, has been writing his own books, and he just surpassed his first $10,000 month. And he's going to talk about his journey, how long it took him, some of the tips and tricks that you can use to make more money with less books. And that's all coming up right now. All right. So Manny, nice to meet you, man. Like we were just saying right before this is our first time actually having a chance to talk in person. We've sent messages back and forth. Perfect. You've been in the Facebook group for a while. Right. But why don't you start us off at the beginning, man? So like, so you're over in India. What got you into self-publishing and when did you start?
So I've been working for 10 plus years in consulting industry. So I'm in India, I'm in Delhi, I'm an engineer and an MBA. I was doing quite well in my life. I was with Big Four consulting group. My wife is also working. I had a kid back then now. I have two right now. The second one is born this year. So my life was cool. But since the first day when I joined my 9 to 5 job 10 years back, I was looking for some opportunity where I could do something with little investment and with the time I have in hand, apart from my job, right? So from 10 years, I was not able to find anything which basically met my situation. Back in 2016, I basically did a certification called PMP, that is Project Management Professional Certification from PMI.
Okay.
After 10 years of working as project manager. And then I was very frustrated with my job. Like I just wanted to do something. So I just typed on YouTube how to write a book. And then a video came up of Stephen James, right? How to write a book in 24 hours. I just went ahead and wrote down my experiences of how I cleared my PMP back in 2016, and I uploaded on Amazon.
Okay, so you wrote the book.
Right, I wrote the book, 30 pages. That how was my journey to clear that PMP examination, how to fill the form, how to prepare for it and everything. So my whole journey, I basically wrote down that how I cleared PMP and uploaded on and made the cover myself and uploaded on Amazon, right? And the next day I earned $5. So I got the spark.
That's that's it might not sound like a lot, especially now, but that's massive. Like you just decided, let me write a book, let me make a cover, I'll put it up on Amazon, and the next day you made $5 with it. Like that's mind blowing for some people.
Because I was researching for 10 years, and all the people who have made it, they all were telling that do something, do some actionable. Then you'll get if you're not finding the right thing to do, then do something actionable. When you get the result, then you'll get the direction, what exactly you want to do. So I just went ahead and did something. I just wrote a 30-page book, uploaded it. And the next day I woke up and I got $5. And that basically changed the mind game for me. Okay, this is it. Now, I don't know what I'll do 5 years down the line, but this is where I'll start. Correct. And my experience taught me that the best person to teach me is the one few steps ahead from me. So I'm looking for someone who just made his first $1,000 and who can teach me how to get there. And at the same time, you basically made your few first videos, 7 to 8 videos. You were just in process of starting your own course, right? And I knew from that, okay, this is the person. He's very authentic. He just made his first K, and let me join him. So I took 1 to 2 months to arrange the money and then just backed on the course. And when I get into the course, that time the early group was there, Marco was there, Suraj was there, all those guys were there, right?
Yeah.
So since that time, I've been watching these guys making 1K, 10K, 20K, 50K, whatever.
Right?
Right?
It's crazy. It's crazy when you talk about people like Marco and now the freaking empire he's built, or Suraj. Right. He was right at the beginning and now he's doing like 40, 50 grand a month. Like, right. Isn't it insane? Just from where they all, because they were all the originators. Like they were some of the first people to buy the course when it opened. And like
so
now
I was in the same batch. I was in the same batch, same group of people. So on one hand, there was a frustration, okay, that I'm still not able to make 10K. On second hand, I was assured that when these guys are making, I know these guys, I know they started from scratch and they are making this much. So one day I also make. I have to just rectify and fill in the gaps where I'm missing, right? So that belief was there that I started with these guys are making this much money. So I'll get there. That confidence was there.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause you right there. I got to get my charger for my for the computer. Yeah. All right, that's a really interesting point, what you just said about I want to follow somebody who's a few steps ahead of me. And I remember that thinking when I started as well, when you start and people are making like 10, 20, $30,000 a month, somebody at zero cannot relate to them.
Exactly.
So you want somebody who's just like, you almost feel you can catch them. Right. And so, yeah, no, that's very, very.
And also interestingly, I use this line as an ad copy for my best-selling book, that I am someone few steps ahead in this journey, and that is selling like anything.
And that's a hot book that you have going on because of that. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. So walk us through our journey. Like,
so recap of my journey. In 16, I wrote my first book. In 17, you started your course and I met you and I joined your course, right?
Okay. And how much were you making when you, like, when you got in? So when you started my self-publishing Blueprint, how much were you making then? Because you've been publishing for less than a year at that point?
Yeah, 150, 200K per month, $150, $200, 150, 100.
Okay, so nothing really. How long did it take you to make your first $1,000?
So in October 2018, October of 18, I hit my first K.
So it took you almost 2 years after you first started publishing.
But for 1 year, I was not publishing very continuously. So after joining your course, basically in 17, right? Then basically I published few books, and then it took me 1.5 years basically.
1.5 years. When you look back at that, is there any reason, or could you pinpoint anything that might have taken you a little longer? Because typically, you can usually do that within your first few months, but some people, I've seen students, they take 18, 24 months. Totally cool. What do you think was in your
major
case?
reason was I was not publishing enough books, right?
Okay.
I was publishing in various different niches. I had to stick with one niche, and when I stick with one niche, I basically reached out to you that I'm not able to make my first K. You told me one thing, that out of all the 4 niches, whichever is selling best for you, you publish 2-3 books in that niches, and that's the same thing I did. Whichever book was selling best for me, I published next 3 books in that niche, and once I get 4 books in the same niche, I had my first $1,000.
Isn't that neat how that works, right? And people, I was having a conversation with somebody, I think in our group, and they're like, yeah, I'm publishing in these 3 or 4 niches. I'm like, great. So pick one and go focus. And he's like, oh no, but I really like I like all of them. I just, okay, great. So pick one and forget the 2.
Exactly.
Right? Because it's just, you don't get it until you do it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much easier. It's so much simpler to run one business and get good at it than running these 3 really crappy businesses that look like they're making you money, but they're just wasting your time.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Right? So
you get to know that the focus thing is with experience only, right? You have to focus in one niche. And later in my discussion with Suraj a few months back, I showed him my few books, and he told me that why you're aiming 10K from 10 books. You can make 10K from 3 books. Yes. So absolutely. As you move up the ladder, the number of books decrease, and you focus on more quality books and more income from less number of books. That's what.
Now, how long did it take you to learn that thinking? Because I think, and as a course creator, I'll take, full responsibility. Well, you've seen the changes I've been making, especially with the new program that's coming out. But in the beginning, especially when you started and when I started the program, it was publish as many books as you can in all these niches and make money.
Exactly.
But
So
that
you were also learning them. Absolutely.
Yeah. But then that philosophy really changed. And I learned that when I published my fourth book, right? And because then I started going, I was like, published my fourth book, it was a hit. And then I'm like, I'm just going to focus on this one niche. And I had 3 other niches at the time, but I focused on the one and things blew up for me. And the, where was I going with that? So I can't remember, but so how long did it take you to really understand that philosophy? Because that's the shift that's really, I think more and more people are starting to talk about it, at least on YouTube. That you focus on the one area,
one nation,
right? Focus on one customer and just solve all of their problems, because nobody has one problem, right? Like everyone has one customer has 100 different problems that you can solve. Like you're never going to run out of ideas.
The customer avatar, which you talk about, right?
Sorry?
The customer avatars, solving multiple problem of single customer, right?
Right. Now, let's talk. Okay, and then let's keep going with your journey then. So you hit your first 1,000, and then what happened?
I wrote my first book in September of 16.
Yeah.
Then joined your course in 17. Then took a break. I was in full-time job working 8 to 10 hours per day. So I didn't have time with family. I also could. So I didn't get time. But finally, when I hit 1K in October of 2018, then I got serious about this business. Okay, this can basically properly replace my salary, and I can get off my job and do it full time. So that was the first time I got serious about this job. In 2018, there was a family setback. My mother was basically suffering from cancer. She went to surgery. And that moment when I collected report and came back to my office, my manager told me something which really hit me. And at that moment, I basically took a decision. Okay, let me give a time frame to my journey, right? So my time frame was on 1st of Jan to 2020. I'll be out of my job, come what may be. Correct. That was my deadline basically. Mm-hmm. So I worked towards that. By 19, I have to hit 10K, and then I have to leave my job. Correct. So between 18 to 19, I was dabbling between 1 to 2K, 3K, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. My first niche was technical niche. It died down basically eventually because it was not a top quality book, right? Right. My second niche was in 2019. That was low content book. It also worked well in till December of 2019, and eventually died down in January 2020, right? So I left my job in December 19. December was 4K month. It was a good month, correct? And in January, all my books died down. I left my job. Okay. So I sat down, took 10, 15 days of break and thought, what should I do now? So then I realized that what are my strengths? So whole life I have written my own consulting project reports. That's what I have done for 10 years, correct? So I knew how to write, especially the logical non-fiction thing. I was good than the ghostwriters who were writing books for me. So I decided, okay, I'll not invest anything. I'll just keep writing down. I started writing books in January of 2020, one series basically. Till December of 2020, I have written 9 books, right? Okay. And out of 9, 7 books were released till October, right? So those 7 books basically made my 10K. Correct.
The 7 books you wrote yourself.
Correct. I wrote 9 books myself till December. Out of the major income was from 7 books because 2 books I released in December 2020, right?
And these 9 are all in the one niche that you
niche, interrelated, right? Basically.
Yeah, that you have interest in, that you know about, because you're writing about them, obviously, right?
Correct. Okay. So basically, I changed my approach. Basically, I went into the Facebook groups of those people. I started hanging them around, right? I took content from there, basically, whatever question they were asking. Correct. So I made for example, I made a frequently asked questions segment in my book. I collected 100 questions from that group. What people were facing issues, right?
Can we talk about that? Can you explain to the people how you do that? Like, dumb it down to people who are. This is really good, man. This is fantastic, because this is all the stuff I really want people to overcome their fear. So one, I know people are asking this. Are you writing under a pen name?
Yeah, I write.
Okay, so you're writing under a pen name. So you're going into the Facebook groups using your own profile.
Correct.
Right, because we can't use pen name profiles.
Correct.
Okay, and so how do you interact with the people in a Facebook group? Could you explain that, like, in the
So
easiest
basically,
way?
I genuinely go as a beginner about some topic which I don't know anything about, right?
Okay.
And I start looking at the beginner questionnaires basically, as we do in your group. What are the beginners FAQs? What people are asking, right? So that section makes for the introduction part of a book. These are the FAQs people are asking at the beginning, right? Then you start interacting with people with your queries. Basically you become the learner, the beginner of that niche, and you start asking the relevant questions. And when the experienced people answer back to you, and the other people give their perspectives, then you come around with a content which is not available in academia, right? So suppose for a topic, when a person who is teaching that topic, he is writing the book, he'll talk from academic point of view. But when you get in that group and face the real questions, get the real answers, then that content is more practical and more value added for the audience. Correct. So that is the differentiator basically. One book is my competitors in my niche are established brands basically, right? Those people are teaching in universities those subjects, correct? And I am basically coming from the user point of view. So that is my differentiator. I am basically beating three of the established publishing houses in my book rankings basically,
Right.
only based on this, right? So only one book is ahead of me in that niche, the bestseller, and there is three which have got like thousands of reviews and which are from established brands only. They are basically below my ranking, and the only reason is because I am coming from user point of view. I'm taking real questions, and that is because I am myself becoming a learner. I by myself know exactly about that niche from 1 year.
Because you're going to the people who are having the problems, or the people who have the problems that want them solved. You're going to the
I'm
direct
really learning it.
leader.
I'm really learning it. I'm going from that perspective that I am a beginner. I have to learn this topic, and I'm asking a relevant question. In the process, I'm learning everything about that niche. Basically.
That's awesome, man. What now? How does that translate into getting reviews for your books?
So yeah, that's awesome, man. Because earlier I was struggling with the reviews, right? That was the main reason.
Most people struggle with
Uh,
reviews.
the journey of a book is like you go to a ghostwriter if you're looking. My main challenge for 3 years was basically three challenges. I'm coming to challenges first.
Yeah.
First, I was not able to find a subject matter expert for my topic, right? I was
Okay.
getting generalist writers who were just diving in the shallow waters and
Yeah.
writing the basic stuff, right? That was a struggle. Second was from Amazon point of view, I was getting into lots of issues. Like my first few books were plagiarized. I went to the company, the content was not original. My books got banned. So that took 6 to 8 months of my time and got demotivated, right? So
Yeah.
that was the reason for the first 1 or 2 years of delay.
Okay.
When I basically understood it, what the real game is, right? Then I dived down into the niche. And then I went into the niche and got to know everything from the beginning. I learned that niche. Uh, and that time Suraj basically helped me. That when he gave me that perspective that you can make 10K from 3 books, he's making that, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
So that took that fear away from me that I have to publish 1 or 2 books every month and all. And I stayed back and keep my composure and calm, and then focus on few books, right? You don't have
That's
to publish many books. That's the main thing.
so that's so good what you just said. You said as soon as you took the pressure off yourself of having to publish one book a month, which
Correct.
it might not sound a lot, but
Because
some
that
people
was
are trying to
that was the
publish like,
game. That was the game in 2016, 15, those
totally.
time, right?
Oh, yeah. And then so once you took that pressure away, you're like, wait, I don't need to publish 3 or 4 a month. I might just have to publish 3 or 4 a year.
Correct. Absolutely.
Because then that allows you to focus on research,
Mhm.
which if you're not spending a couple weeks, like how long does it take you to do research for your books now?
So I write one book in like 45 days. I take my time. Correct. I basically
And
my
so
process goes
that's the writing process. What about the research process? Or do you kind of just call all of that?
writing and research both gets in time because I'm a single niche, right?
Okay.
So basically, I've been learning about it for like last 1 year.
Yeah.
So now I am a specialist because I have been learning for 1 year.
So
So
45 days for research and writing.
right,
That's yeah, no, like
15,000 words,
that's
15,000 word book, 15 to 20K, right?
sorry, how
So
long?
15,000 to 20,000 words I write in 45
15,000,
days.
20,000 words. Okay. And then now are you doing audiobooks as well? Is it just ebook or paperback?
So regarding setback, when you say audiobook, so my ACX earning were very well. Like I was earning 1,000 to $2,000 back in 2018, right? But
Okay.
because I'm from India, and
Yeah.
that time the accounts were banned because I'm not from Ireland,
Oh
Canada, and
shoot.
US, all
Right.
the
Yeah.
right? So I left ACX. So basically
So you
that
left
was
it.
because I have to.
Yeah. Now, have you just are you not on Findaway Voices or
No,
what's
I am on Findaway Voices. I am on
yeah, yeah,
Findaway
you're on
Voices,
the other Audible or
other platforms.
audiobook platforms that you
But
can.
but I have realized that the ROI, the return of investments, is not that much. Uh, when super the how much you invest and you get back, right?
No, but it's
So
like if you got the manuscript already, it
mhm,
costs what two to $300 max to get a
correct,
book
correct. So I
narrated.
have uploaded. Yeah, I have uploaded everything. So
Yeah,
my 10
yeah,
pages
like
are uploaded
it's
already.
it's almost like a no-brainer to have it,
Correct, correct,
right? Because it's
correct.
like it's such a small. You've already
Ah,
done the hard work.
correct.
So
Hard work, right?
okay, okay, that's interesting, man. Then what? So
So
what's
we were
yeah? Go
talking
ahead.
about reviews, right?
Right.
Reviews for my own written books, right?
Yeah, we got
So
sidetracked there. Okay, reviews.
so yeah, I was coming from that point that my earlier books were basically getting very bad reviews. That was a
Okay.
fear in me because I went to the ghostwriter companies. They wrote at surface level. The book did well on based on keywords and cover for 1 year, and after 1 year, all my books died down, right?
Just yeah.
And I got 1 star reviews, lots of them, right? This information is on surface level and this that stuff. So I was very disheartened with those reviews, and I just wanted to come up with a product which is genuinely good. I was very passionate about that
Mm-hmm.
because those reviews really hit me. Correct. I
Yeah.
didn't wrote that book, but that was associated with my brand, right? So the first book I took like 45 days. I wrote around 20K words. I put on photographs from everywhere, all the good resources, not copyrighted photos, but wherever I could find. I went to the artist to draw a few drawings for me. So that was a complete package: a good written books, a point by point books, well edited book with lots of photographs, and it was ahead of everything in the market. I was sure about that. Correct. So I released that book. Uh, I went to Booksprout for first few reviews because I didn't have my ARC that time. Correct.
Right.
And then uh, I went for AMS ads from the first day go. Correct.
Yeah.
I put in all my effort for that one book. So AMS updated everything in place on Booksprout, top quality book with top notch cover.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I released that book in January 21st, and in February it gave me like $600 first month,
Wow. Huh?
right? And from that time continuously, it is like on an average it is giving me $600 to $800 per month, correct? Till till now.
That's fantastic.
So,
That's fantastic.
uh,
And you
and right now
have
it has got 117 reviews, four-star review,
170
117
reviews, organic reviews.
organic reviews without anything, right?
That's awesome, man. And are you asking for reviews inside your book? Like, do you have a
Yeah,
page that asks
correct. On
emails?
the
Are you
last
collect?
page.
Yeah. Are you collecting emails?
Yeah, from the beginning. So I have got around 300 people on my email list for that dish. And whenever I release a new book, I just message them that I release a new book.
Uh-huh.
And few of them genuinely like my series, right? I've been getting emails that when your next book will be released and all that stuff. So I've
Yeah,
got 20 to 30 raving fans who are waiting for my next book.
that's
Correct.
great. Now, 300. How long have you been in this niche for?
Since January 21.
So, okay, so about a year.
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah. So do you think, so what could you do to collect more emails? Because obviously you're
Uh,
selling, I don't know how many books you're selling like last year, like obviously a few thousand, I'm guessing. I
correct,
would no idea. But so that's only 300 emails though.
correct. So
So
basically, that is the next plan of action
that's
because
something you're focused on. Because yeah, like that list should be way better. Because I know I was talking to a publisher who started I sent an email about it
Mhm,
7 months ago. Is
mhm.
it 4 or 5 months ago? 7 months ago. and he has about 700 or so people on his list.
Okay.
It was one of the recent emails I sent. But you know, but he's been hammering that list. Like he sends it almost
Yeah.
every other
He
day.
will, so that is the next plan of action basically.
Right.
I have to focus on collecting more emails and then selling on the back end. So that is what I've been preparing to do for the next year. I've been going through a course in India regarding funnel mastery, how to master the funnel creation, all that stuff. Right. So that is the next plan of action. That on plan A, I'll continue with my run rate business. I'll keep publishing books every month and also. And plan B will be more strategic in nature, and I'll be focusing on back-end marketing, right? So I've
Yeah.
been learning
You've been learning what? Sorry?
funnel marketing, basically how to create a funnel, Facebook ads and all that stuff, basically. What goes in the back-end, basically.
Right. Do you follow Dan Henry or Sam Ovens?
Yeah, basically, someone who learned from Dan Henry is one of my close friend in India. So they
Okay,
have been doing
cool.
really well. So he's
Yeah.
been teaching me.
Okay, that's fantastic, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then, thank you. So, what would you say? What, looking back at what you've done, what would you say is kind of the biggest thing that you've learned? That, like, if you had to start over again, what would you do differently?
Just publish more quality books. Only like single line which Suresh told me. Publish quality books, less number of books, and
Yeah,
quality books. Like
let's dive into that, because I know what people are thinking right now. Oh, my books are good. Well, probably not, right? Like, it's so
I
when you say
strongly believe,
quality books,
I strongly believe that the keyword and niche, everything is overrated, right?
yes,
It doesn't matter.
like
It
it's
doesn't matter.
important, but it's overrated. People put too much emphasis on the importance of a keyword or a niche,
Because
right?
every success story, everybody is succeeding in different niche with different keywords. That means everything works. Correct?
Yeah, yeah. Like once you find your niche and like you find your
You have to
keyword,
customize.
that's
You have to
important.
customize yourself with that.
But there's no magic keyword or any of that
No,
garbage.
no.
But when you say quality books, excuse me. So when you say quality books, like define what makes a book high quality. How do you how do you ensure you have a high quality book? Because I think that's where a lot of people are kind of dropping the ball.
First thing, you have to take it personally. Your book is what you are representing to the world. It's your personality which is coming out, right? Once you're not passionate about what you are presenting to the world, it should hurt you. When one star review should come, you should the one star review should hurt you. Right? If
So
that hurts you, then only you'll basically strive for getting 5-star reviews, right? And that can be only done uh, by coming out with a book which has got more rich content. The content should be more. Uh, it, there's a word called no-brainer offer, right? Your
right.
book should be a no-brainer offer. The competition, it should be low in price in competition, not necessarily, but if it is
Mhm.
for starters, it should be low in price for competition. The content should be more, number of pages should be more, the number of pictures should be more, uh, the questionnaire should be more, FAQ should be there, appendix should be there.
Mhm.
You should define everything. Like so, a proper book, which whatever it comes with, you take 10 books in your niche, take the best part of all the 10 books, and you deliver 10. That those 10 points are must for you to deliver. Apart from that, you deliver 10 more things.
Right.
Correct. So that makes your offer a no-brainer. It is good in everything. You take from all the perspective. There should be more pictures. The content should be good. It should be more practical. It should be more user-friendly. It should not come from academic point of view. Should come from user point of view. And then your ad copy and cover basically does the magic of them.
Are you still
That
making
is
your own covers?
no, of course not.
Okay, good.
That I understood on the first book.
I got no problem with people. Like, you can write your own books. Like, that's you know, writing is, especially nonfiction. It's still challenging, especially
Yeah.
to write well. It's not like fiction where it takes certain skills to write fiction stories and all of that. But to write a nonfiction book, it doesn't take a ton of skill.
No, no.
Like, you just
You
have
have
to
just
not
do
be a
research.
complete moron.
Basically, I've been writing project reports for 10 years, right? I
Oh,
will give the
right. So
same.
you're used to writing. So you might have a step up on other people. And like, I can hear all the authors bitching at me right now. Not a like, nonfiction is easier to write than fiction,
Correct.
But designing a cover is a completely different ballgame, right? Like that is nothing anybody should be messing with unless
No, not at all.
unless they're a designer, right? Like I'm not a writer. I'll write a damn good nonfiction book that's going to sell, like I have, but I'm not going to design a cover and pretend it's
No
any
way.
good. Like, you know what I mean? So it's people who might be like, if they're short on cash or they're like, and they want to get started, yeah, like to hire a ghostwriter, it's going to be $1,000 for your book. If you don't have $1,000, because maybe you're over in India, and like how long would it take somebody to save $1,000 in India? Like 8-9 months?
$1,000 in India is like 70K. It's like a salary for people working for 5 years in the industry, like 4 to 5
Right.
years.
So that's like like it's, so then write the book, improve your English, write the book, but don't sit around and just watch all these videos and say, oh, I wish I could do that one day. I just don't have the money. Well, grab a pen, grab a paper, or open a word pad on your computer.
Also,
And
one
start
point I
writing.
want to emphasize. One point I want to emphasize that
Mhm.
editing your book is very important. That is the
Yes.
like it is the main drawback I had in my book earlier. I hired a top class editor from US, and she is very good with that. Right, I pay her everything. Right, whatever she says, I pay her. Because
Yeah.
that is that basically changed the flavor of the content. Basically.
And that's exactly that that's a great thing you bring up, because like, yeah, writing is easy, but then you need the editor to fix it all, because then they're going to see all of your grammar mistakes, all of your right. They're gonna flush all of that out, which will completely change the feel of the message you're trying to get across. That makes more sense. So
never cut corners on basically cover and editor.
right.
Starting out also. That's what.
No, that's key, man. That's key. How has the group helped you? Like, how is, because some people, they're not in a course, or they're trying to do it on their own. Like, how have courses and groups just helped you along in the journey?
Look, what I've realized in 3 years that this journey, basically doing something of your own, it's a very lonely battle, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't say what you're doing to the world, to my office, to my family, and all this stuff, because they not understand initially
Right.
when I'm
They
not
get
making money,
it.
right? So you need to have someone who believes in the same thing which you believe. So that group, basically every year somebody's coming up with 1K, 10K, whatever. So that basically gives you confidence that you're in the right direction. People are making money, because when you come to the real world, you basically, it's a different real world. People are not making money around it, right? So they are doing different stuff. Right?
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 38, man. I'm 38. I've got 2 kids, right?
Okay,
I've been
cool.
working
Oh,
for
wow, that's awesome, man.
same. We are in the same batch.
So yeah, no, that's so cool. Okay, so tell me, did you receive any pushback when you were starting, or anything like that, either from your, wife, kids, or from parents or whoever? Like, did you receive any of that, or what was that aspect like? Because especially over in India, right, you got the very strong cultural beliefs and everything. It can be a lot more challenging than over here, right? What was that
So
like?
basically, 9 to 5 is considered safer here. So
But
basically, I was
it's considered safer everywhere.
everywhere, right? So
Okay.
basically, I was an ideal kid. I was good at studies. I did well. I did my engineering. I did my MBA. So everything
Of course.
scripted.
Yeah.
BTech, MBA, a good job in IT industry. Then I moved up the ladder in management consulting. So
Bro,
from
so
Indian standards,
basically you're the poster Indian child,
exactly. So everything
right?
was
Like,
right.
just, yeah, totally. Okay. Okay.
So I was basically also good at studies above average. So everything clicked for me for the first second time, right?
Yeah.
So I did my studies, did my engineering, did my MBA, got a good job from campus. Then did my got into management consulting, top big four consulting. So basically everything was great. So people were not expecting me this from me, that he'll leave his job and go to do something
Right.
else, because everything seems great, right? So my wife was also working. She was also doing exceptionally well in her career. She's a aviation engineer, aircraft maintenance engineer. So we both were earning, as per Indian standards, we were doing good. We were above average. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
So because she was working and she was very supportive, correct.
Okay.
So I had that stability because she had the salary and all that stuff.
Sweet.
So then I told her that you continue with your job and let me try something else. And being in India, I knew that I need only $2 to $2.5 per month to basically be stable, right? That is also a plus point because
Yes.
$1 is $72.
Yeah, the exchange works so well for you. Once you
Correct.
start making money, it works well for you.
Correct.
But starting, it's
Once you start,
extremely
starting,
challenging.
that's why I wrote my books, right? I have to
Yeah.
basically fill in the gap, right?
Yeah.
That's what is written in 4 Hour Work Week, the first book I read that time. That you have to leverage.
Because they talk about currency hacking.
So
Or
I was already in India, so that was like a piece of cake for me, right? So I just had to make money. That was my challenge. So my wife was supporting. My younger brother is in Australia, so he was also earning in dollars. So he was also very supportive. I didn't told my parents that I'm leaving my job because it would be a setback from them.
totally.
So when I hit my 10K, then I told them, okay, I had 10K. I'm earning much more than my salary.
Yeah.
I'm stable. So they were very happy with that, right?
That's awesome, man. That's fantastic. Fantastic. It's always interesting hearing those side of the stories, right?
And most interestingly, Corona, this lockdown, this phase basically helped me out. Right?
The what? Sorry.
This Corona lockdown, COVID-19 lockdown.
It really because
nobody asked me what are you doing in my home, right? I was working from my home.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot.
Normal. I was working from home, right? Everybody was working from home, right?
Yeah, in fact, a lot of people, because of everything, they've started businesses like publishing, like on Amazon, just because they're at home, or they lost their job, or they're at home and they're working, but they get distracted, so they can start a side hustle. It's yeah.
One thing came in my mind when I was resigning. Basically, finally resigned in May of 2020. I went to a leave for 4 or 5 months, leave without pay, and finally resigned in May of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So my partner really asked me 3 times, "Are you sure? Because this is not the right time to resign. Everybody is saving their job in COVID-19, right?"
Right.
So I told him, "Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure."
Yeah, it's funny when you're one of the few people who venture into the entrepreneurial space, and all your friends are like the corporate 9 to 5, whatever the case is, right? And you're that one solo.
The timing, basically, when everybody was saving their jobs in 19, that time I left basically. So
right,
it was a big deal.
And like now, what? Your wife is she still working?
She is still working.
She's still working. Okay, cool.
Right.
So you'll keep that going for the next little bit, probably.
Yeah, she has a very flourishing career. She's happy with that, right?
Okay, sweet, awesome. And there is that happiness thing, right? Like it's not just about the money. It's about, like, if you love what you're doing, you're probably not going to leave the type of job, but it's just, some people are just not wired to do the 9 to 5. Did you ever think you'd be like an entrepreneur running your own business? Was that ever in your mind?
Always.
Okay, so it was.
So from the first day I joined my 9 to 5, I knew that I'll quit it. Right? It took me 10 years. It took me 10 years to basically realize what exactly I'm going to do, because I didn't have with my limitation. As I told you initially, that I didn't have money to basically put into a brick and mortar business, right? That type of money. And I was also having responsibilities of family. I was in 9 to 5 job. So I needed something where I didn't have to invest money. I didn't have to invest much of the time, and I can basically earn equal to my salary. I can replace my salary. So basically in 3 years, I replaced my salary, and I took the data from last 2 years when I was confident that my earnings are replacing my salary for continuously 2 years. Then I took that plunge. So I played safe basically.
You did it the smart way. That's awesome, man. Has that sense of freedom really kind of just changed your
great
like changed you in here? Like,
man, it was suffocating for 10 years. I'm telling you. Now 9 to 5, when you're not made to do something and you've been doing it for 10 years and you're good at it, right? I was good at it and I was making good money. So it was more tougher for me. When you're doing good in life, then to leave something is more tougher. I said, correct.
Oh, that's so key. Yesterday I was listening to Sam Evans' message about that. He was interviewing one of his students, and it was she was a coach, like a high level coach down in New Zealand, who works with like CEOs and like heads of companies. And it's like, the example was, she's like, you won't believe how many company owners just hate what they do, but they're paid well, so they just do it anyways. And then everyone below them they really hate what they do, but they're paid well, so they stick it out. And like, it's just a virus inside of a company. And you can imagine what the whole the morality of that company is like. It's just people who really hate it. And I think too many people are afraid, or they don't know what they could do instead.
Exactly. They don't know. Like the people like me, I didn't know what exactly I have to do. Main question for 10 years, what should I do? With my limitations, what should I do? Right. So once I got that answer, I was sure that, okay, I'll take time, but I'll basically do it.
You know, I used to work in sales, direct sales company, and ran sales offices, and like,
right? I remember you're selling knives.
Yeah, Gecko knives, right? Like, it's
earlier videos.
Right? That's awesome, man. Yeah, you've been following for a while. That's fantastic. And like, I don't get me wrong, I loved it. I met Mariana because of, indirectly because of it. And like, I loved it. But there definitely got to a point in time where I was like, I ain't gonna do this forever. Like, this is hell no, right? I need something else. But I had no idea what to do. I knew I wasn't going to do 9 to 5 because like, I can't, no. I just couldn't do that. Right. That's just me. But I had no idea that the internet could make you money. I did not know that existed because none of my friends did any of that. They were doctors or pharmacists or working for labor type of, jobs, or like, none of them were doing anything online. I had no idea that that was a possibility. And I really wish that I found out earlier, because, I think everyone who starts an online business wishes they found it early, because they're like, oh man, if I just started back then, right? Like,
correct.
Right.
So 17, 19-year-old kids are like,
right.
They're minting money, right?
Exactly. So that's so cool, man. That's so cool.
But there's a sign of relief also, that finally we found something, right?
Yeah.
We used it for 10 years. Finally got something.
No, 100%. Now, okay, so let's keep on that. Like, what do you think you're going to do with the publishing business? Like, will you sell it at one point, or will you just keep building it, sell more back end, or have you not really thought about that yet?
No, I've thought about that. So my main challenge was basically starting it, getting it still here. Moving from ahead from here is what I have done for my life. Right? For 10 years, I've been doing that thing, right? So starting was tough. Now what strategy I have to, basically I have to move to the back end, right? I have to sell more products from back end. So the focus would be more on back end, building a brand and all that stuff. So what basically Suraj told me, that stuck with me, that first I made 10K from 7 books. My next step will be making 10K from 3 books, and then 10K from 1 book. So I move in that ladder, whatever it takes basically.
That's awesome, man. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Are you close to Soar Edge? Are you guys in the same area, or not really? You just
no, he's from different area, but yeah, we interact regularly, like 6 months or 3 months, whenever I face some challenge, because he's on that track basically where I want to move basically.
Yeah.
He's built the brand and earning more from less number of books.
Yeah.
Because at some point you will not able to manage these many products. Right?
You build a team. You hire people.
Correct. Exactly. Absolutely.
Right. And that's what he has. He has like a team of people. I remember used to having calls with him, and he's like, I hate this person. I hate, because it's the staffing challenges now. Right before it was like this and what now it's like, oh, you hate your staff. Well, either train them better or fire them and get new ones. Those are your two options. Just make that decision today. But, so it's so cool watching all the changes and everything he goes through. I love that guy. I cannot wait to get to India, man. Like India is a very interesting country. I think it has the best food in the world. Some home cooked authentic Indian food is like, I'm telling you, that's like one of my top 10 bucket list things to do in life. It's just, I'm a big food guy. So yeah, it'll
come to Delhi anytime, man.
Yeah, no, it'd be awesome to get over there and see all you guys. So that's cool, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking some time to chat and share your story and everything. Absolutely fantastic hearing about it. You skipped your $1,000 interview and straight to 10K. So that's cool, man. That's cool. But I couldn't be happier for you. Everyone watching, hope you enjoyed this. Let me know. Drop a comment down in the comment section. Smash the subscribe button if you're brand new. There's also a ton of other interviews just like this one on the channel. So I'll link the playlist so you can check those out as well. Till next time, everybody, take care.